When it comes to doing a competition check on the Renault Kiger, the number one car out there that it competes with, in my books, is the Maruti Suzuki Fronx that's sold through the Nexa dealerships. Now the Fronx sort of ushered in this crossover design, looked sharp, and definitely took off in the market, but it never really faced any stiff competition from any other player out there. And while the earlier version of the Kiger has been around, I think it's this new gen version that's taking the fight straight to the Fronx. So in this video, I want to tell you about the 5 things that I believe make the Kiger a better value for money proposition than the Maruti Suzuki Fronx. That's right. Is this one better? And in my books, I'm going to be telling you why. The number one thing in my books when it comes to why the Kiger is better than the Fronx, it's because of the design. Renault has really nailed it this time around. I think the more squared off look, the sharp elements, the sleek lines, the more sculpted character lines through the bonnet and the metalwork is what works to give it more of an SUV stance and bring out a nice premium appeal. Front, back, rear, LED lighting, all of that is just part of the parcel that really makes it stand out as a product. My list, and this one's a big one, is the amount of boot space that the Kiger has to offer. At 405 liters, it's almost 100 liters more than what the Fronx has to offer. And that is something that's very substantial when it comes to making a decision for your next family car. You're looking for something that can pack in the goods, take your family around, and all of this comes into play when you're making that buying decision. So yes, if space is definitely something that you need, then boot space is where the Kiger wins over the Fronx. Number 3 on my list is the engine. Now on paper, both the Fronx and the Kiger are similarly spec'd. We're talking about a 1000cc engine, a 1-liter engine that delivers close to 100 PS of power, but it's on the torque where the Kiger delivers a little bit more. The Fronx is at about 147 Newton meters of torque, while the Kiger does 152 Newton meters of torque. That little bit of a change just changes the way it feels a little bit more tractable and a little bit more spirited when it comes to driving. Of course, the Kiger also benefits from driving modes, and that adds the little cherry on the cake when it comes to out-and-out performance. Now the 4th thing on my list is the seats. All the seats are covered in leatherette. It's a fine material, looks good, looks premium, looks plush. The color combination definitely spices things up in here. But why is it better than the Fronx? Well, for starters, up front you've got ventilated seats, which is a great addition to the Kiger. And at the rear is the fact that you get the most amazing legroom in the segment. I don't think there's anything that comes close in this segment to offer tall people this kind of legroom. So if you have family members who are tall, you've actually got aged people who need a little bit more room of getting in and out, the Kiger definitely wins hands down when it comes to passenger comfort. Well, with that, we come to point number 5, and that has to be pricing. This is a cutthroat segment. We are talking about stiff competition. We're talking about the fact that people who are looking at this class of vehicle are obviously very price conscious and want maximum bang for their buck. Now, this is where the Kiger range starts at 6.29 lakhs and goes all the way up to 11.29 lakhs. So you're getting a top range Kiger with all the bells and whistles, like what you've seen with this very model right here at 11.29 lakhs. The Fronx starts at a lakh higher, so it starts at about 7.5 lakhs and it goes up almost touching 15 lakhs. So yes, that's where the Fronx exists, and that's where the Kiger is going to play its game. Of course, all is not lost for the Fronx. I will say that Maruti has a substantial amount of following in the country. They've got the widest dealership network. Service and all of those elements also come into play when making the decision. But when you're going product for product and you want to know which one is offering you more bang for your buck, it's actually the Kiger, right? But when it comes to your little bit of security or saying that I want to follow what my dad did and buy a car that he used to own, then yes, Maruti Suzuki is for you. But in my take, I put my money on the Kiger. Well, with that, we've come to the end of our review. And to answer the big question out there, can it take on the Fronx? In my books, it's actually got quite a lot of merit in what it offers as a product. And yes, if I was Maruti, I'd be a little worried about the fact that this can eat into that segment, especially on two fronts. One is the fact that it offers more space, and the second is on pricing, because the Kiger with the turbo petrol range starts at 9.99 lakhs and goes up to 11.29 lakhs. You can get the naturally aspirated version, which is the 72 PS version, which starts at 6.29 lakhs. And that is where the deal truly lies. I think Renault has a great game to play over here. Of course, building it out, customer confidence, all of that is all part and parcel of building out a nice success story for any new product in the market, not just for Renault, but for any car company. But here, they seem to have gotten a lot of that formula right. And that's my take on the Kiger. If you've got something to say, you want to know more about this product, you want to know, you want to tell me if I'm right or wrong about anything, feel free to write in, drop me a comment below. It's my promise and the MOTORSCRIBES promise that we answer every comment that comes in on the channel.